hot mess and fall out in the middle of the street. You mean the paramedics would arrive and they weren't going to save me? She said, think about it. Do you look like you're worth saving? So in that moment, I always knew I needed to look like I was worth saving when I left the house. And as I experienced corporate America, I noticed that I was treated differently based on how I showed up. When I moved into management, I noticed my associates and how they were showing up. As women and also men, when you're going through something, would you agree that you show up differently?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you might skip a step or two or three and just say, listen, take me as I am, I made it. And sometimes people do, they'll give you a pass, but first impressions are lasting. So you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So what I want to talk about tonight, because we are in a networking session, is how you can connect with someone without saying a word. I'm going to talk about colors, I'm going to talk about accessories, and then I'm going to talk about statement pieces. So, did you guys notice that Dominique noticed Yeshiva without even Yeshiva saying a word? What stood out, Yeshiva? Why did she notice you?
I just bought this belt.
Yeah, she just bought the belt. So it was an accessory. So when you think about it, we all came out tonight for different reasons, but we definitely came out to either connect, to collaborate, and in my case, to be unforgettable, right? So those are things that you do when you're going out to a networking session. You're trying to figure out, how do I make that connection? How do I pull someone in? And sometimes if you're just showing up and you're not really sure who's going to be in the room, it's important for you to arrive and be in the room. And that starts at home. Be intentional about how you're showing up. And oftentimes when I'm going out to network, I'm looking at the company that I'm connecting with. I'm looking at their brand colors. I'm looking at maybe even their mission statement, because I want to make a connection without saying a word. I want them to want to talk to me. And the way I do that, I just went to a networking event at Chevrolet, and I wore a license plate handbag. It didn't matter what I had on. But the fact that I was carrying that license plate handbag, guess what? I met the owner. I met his wife. I met several people in the community that I would not have necessarily spoken to, but they came to talk to me because I had a piece that was speaking before I even said a word. So let's talk about color for a moment.